Alright. And this is why the game changers use a green screen. I don't have one. Anyways, I'm going to run some attempts, and I'm going to try and explain the Phase 1 Heroic Sith battles, and how the strategy kind of plays out. I do not have... That's not Ray. I do not have a fully geared perfect team. But I have been working on them. And I was successful in a couple million damage last time. I think I'm going to wait off on him. Maybe not. I don't know. That's one. I can do that. I can do that. I won't be able to do that without 6 more of those. Oops, not that. Merp. No, yeah, we're fine. I can do my 4%. That's the important part. Okay, mods. For Sith Troop or Resistance Trooper, I have 100 speed. Mostly in potency mods. I remodded him with this random crit chance mod. Crit chance on him. It's one of my higher speed crit chance mods, but crit chance on him guarantees. Excuse me. That he will expose more often. Therefore, it's better to go crit chance. Now, the optimal mods are obviously a bunch of crit damage on him. So that is why we recommend that. Excuse me one sec. I'm going to pause the stream. Alright, we're back. Sorry. Tickets payout. Okay, so I was talking about Resistance Trooper. I don't even know if I have this squad's preset. Kinda. So Resistance Trooper, I have 100 speed. Crit chance is the other big thing for him. Crit damage is obviously optimal. I do not have the crit damage mod, so he's just not going to be pumping out the damage he needs. And he doesn't have the optimal health steal because he's not gear 12, and that pumps up his health steal a little bit. But I'm in the almost 60% crit chance range, and that's the happy spot. It'll go up as I finish gearing him out. Ray is also lower geared and needs a bunch of stuff that I don't have right now. Ray does have one of my crit damage sets that's pretty high, so she's sitting at almost 100 speed. The crit damage does not have a crit damage triangle, so I'm working on that. Again, her crit guarantees the exposed proc, and that's what we're going for, so a target of like 60%. And she does have additional health steal, so she lives a little bit longer, better than Resistance Trooper. BB-8 you want a bunch more speed on, so he's at 113. I could go higher, but I made sure that for a lot of these characters I chose health pluses and health circles, because really protection doesn't matter. In fact, protection is just feeding Nihilus protection, so there's no point in it. So yeah, I went for health as much as I could on characters like this. So I kept him above that kind of speed threshold and pushed him up as high as I could. I also used BB-8 in my arena team, so I did a bit of balancing. I don't believe in like mod swapping for every frickin' event, so I really just kind of targeted the best I could with everything. Same thing with R2, going for a good 100 speed. R2's crit chance is kind of important for your arena team because it cleanses all debuffs when he counterattacks and stuff or gets called to assist, etc. So I crit chance mods him and went for some crit chance, but again, it's just kind of that target 100 speed. 100 speed is not the absolute like you must have. This is just the recommended, and those are obviously like the best tier mods. And this isn't for every team, it's really just for the Ray team. So again, Ray sitting above 100 speed, she does have a crit damage triangle. She does not have enough crit chance, by my opinion. 60% and above is really where I feel comfortable. But we're going to make the run. I'm going to talk about what I'm attacking with and why I'm attacking with the abilities. I'm going to try and take it slow. I'm probably going to fail a couple times, but I'm going to keep an eye on the percentage health of the boss. So actually I'm going to back out one more time. Okay, nobody's put any damage on it. So the goal for any team in Phase 1 is 4%, although Ray teams have been pushing 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I already skipped the character I'm looking for. Where's R2? Percent. So, yeah. So, reviewing Nihilus's abilities. When Nihilus basic attacks, he does not do damage to protection. He just does damage to health. It's not a lot of damage, he steals all buffs, and if he steals all buffs, he lowers the cooldown on his second ability. His second ability does AoE direct damage. Again, no damage to protection. So therefore, your protection really doesn't matter, as those are his two main damage dealing attacks. The AoE, when hitting a debuffed target, reduces the cooldown of his third ability. So the goal is to not be debuffed, but the raid generates a bunch of debuffs already, so we'll talk about that in a second. And that leads into this third ability, which is Annihilate, which is countered by the Unbreakable Will ability. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. And finally, when he summons his add, the two guys on the side, with his final ability, he also heals protection for each add that's already up. So they kind of have to die. So with this team, you'll kind of always roll with the punches with BB-8. It's just not really useful for him to not, and it generates so much additional turn meter for Rey. So Rey should always open up with her mind tricks, hoping for some debuffs, which I didn't land. But the less debuffs I land, the more turn meter she gains. So there's a trade-off there. R2-D2 should be saving his smokescreen for foresight, and so right now I'm actually going to open with some AoE. Every time I hit Nihilus, he's gaining speed, tenacity, stacking for until his next turn, and he attacks 2 to 3 times in Heroic, and so really it's about timing your attacks, timing your abilities, making sure that you're not going too heavy in your damage, and really just pacing yourself. A lot of the things that you do traditionally in a lot of the regular fights, you will not find yourself doing in the raid, because you want to, again, pace yourself. You want to take it slower. As I start to hit Nihilus now, he's going to generate a lot more turn meter and speed, so I got to take it slow. Now, what I'm doing right now, as I know his turn's coming up and he's going to hit everybody, is I'm assessing foresight. So right now I have foresight on Rey. She's going to have it. And Rey, she's going to have it. And the next target I choose is going to have foresight. Now, the other character that will have foresight in this deal is R2, because he's going to get a turn before Nihilus. So R2 can actually also add foresight to somebody. And so what we're going to do is we're going to call Resistance Trooper, which is normally you'd call BB-8, but it gave Resistance Trooper the foresight that is needed to survive this fight. R2 is going to go next based on his turn meter, and he'll be able to put foresight on himself. And now these 4 characters with foresight are immune to this AoE attack, and so therefore he did not generate the cooldown reduction on Annihilate that he would have gotten. The damage wasn't spread out, and I forced the damage onto BB-8. There's 2 reasons I did that. 1, BB-8 counterattacked, which gave him foresight. 2, BB-8 already had Unbreakable Will, and so that Unbreakable Will means that BB-8 eventually will be taking a major hit for me, and so I don't mind him taking a little bit of damage. The final piece of the fight that you need to consider is the defense down buff that is stacking on your characters that do, or not stacking, debuffing your characters with that do basic attacks. So whenever I do that, like counterattack that you just witnessed, or the called assist that you just witnessed, I got some debuffs. So you want to avoid using your special abilities in those moments. Now with the R2-D2 leadership ability, or sorry, Zeta ability, he is actually, every time we're critting, removing the debuff. And the timing of that is still not figured out by me, but I believe it occurs after, so it still does not affect his ability. BB-8 also has the amazing ability to Illuminated Destiny, remove all debuffs. It's not always the best thing to do Illuminated Destiny right when you get it up. Sometimes based off the timing of the raid, you kind of want to spread the foresights and use the right abilities, because when he uses Illuminated Destiny, it gives everybody 100% turn meter, and that might not be the best thing at the time, because if they already have foresight, giving them 100% turn meter actually has a chance of removing that turn meter. So again, we're taking it slow. I've only done 47% damage, but we're getting back to that point where I'm going to need to I'm going to take a couple hits from his basic attack. I do not know who he's going to attack, so being smart about it and focusing on damage right now is the important thing, but also not just going all out with your abilities. And there's the AoE that I shouldn't have gotten. So That's the second time Nihilus is attacked. Nihilus attacked the very first time, and if you were paying attention, Nihilus attacked 3 times. This attack right there, he attacked 2 basic attacks, and then again did his AoE, which is 3 times. The odds of that are 50%. In Fearsome Foe version 3, which is the heroic version, it says clearly with a 50% chance to gain an additional bonus attack each turn. Technically, at this point, at a craps table or in any other game with random number generation, I have hit some really bad luck on my very first 2 rounds with Nihilus. Now, luck could turn later on, and I could have a really good run at Nihilus, but already at this point I'm standing in the negative. So at this point, this is one of those battles where I would just retreat and go back in. Foreign Fury just produced some damage, which is not optimal. I think maybe it is. I don't know. I don't remember the math. I think it's 2.3 or something that we want to go for. Anyways, all right. Hold on 1 second. Sorry, my guild is asking questions about the raid right now in Discord. Alright. So we're going kind of back into the exact same thing. Open up with Mind Tricks, slows down his turn meter. We're going to focus on the sides. AoE with R2. This is not the exact pattern that everybody will experience. In fact, what's going to happen is Resistance Trooper ability, when he generates turn meter on exposes, will actually change the dynamic of the entire fight. So not everybody will have the exact same experience. But the goal is to chew the adds down. Might not always be as fast as possible, but to chew them down. My Rey could have gotten a foresight by that basic attack that she just did, and that's something that you kind of want to get because she needs to survive the Nihilus strikes. So we're going to start, I think Mind Tricks is coming up again, so I think we're going to avoid, no, I think we need to do that. Let's call him, let's do a basic attack. I didn't get it, and at this point again, luck is really not in my favor, but I'm going to still witness what it plays out. Yeah, Mind Tricks is up. I thought so. Okay, I played that all wrong. Round of 3. Alright. I'm going to roll with the punches. Mind Trick. Start focusing side adds, hoping for 2 exposes if I get lucky, or 2 crits. It crit on this target, but it did not properly apply the debuff, which is a little bit frustrating. We're going to take him down as quick as possible. Rey, I always, even when you could do leverage, I always try and get the foresight going on her on that first turn. There might be a better way to do it. Nitpicking the turn order is not always my forte. Mind Tricks will be up again on Rey very soon based off the number of exposes that have been landing. But I'm a little bit worried based on the number of times I've hit him that he's actually going to get to go before Rey. Nope, I got lucky. Alright, so at this point, I get to start my normal run. Rey gets to spread foresight around. It's going to Resistance Trooper, who might burn it a little bit. Nope, I didn't get enough out. Should have gotten more out. But R2's going to have his thing. R2's going to have his smoke screen up for next time, so that's okay. And he only got 2 attacks, which I was also watching, and that's a good RNG. Good going so far. Rey is the key point of the damage. Resistance Trooper is another key damage dealer, not as key as Rey. So Rey is actually the one that you're wanting to try and keep alive more. 2 attacks, perfect. Things are going very well, and both of those attacks did nothing, which also did not lower the cooldown of Drain Force. So no matter what, I'm in a very good place at this point because next time he will basic attack and Drain Force. He cannot annihilate. So I'm sitting very pretty. So I can do a couple extra turns, which allows me to get that much closer to that enraged timer. As we are getting closer to him potentially hitting some of my lower health people, so I am going to be calling BB-8 to assist because of the foresight, not because I just want to use the BB-8 roll with the punches, Zeta kind of thing. Those exposes are generating turn meter for Resistance Trooper, which is great. He got 3 attacks that time, which sucked, but that's okay, because Annihilate's up, and that's where we're rolling with at this point. The Annihilate's going to go on the Resistance Trooper, which isn't the best person to land Annihilate on, but Mind Tricks is up very soon, so the Resistance Trooper is going to save it. Lower some cooldown. He might... No, we're completely fine, so we're going to roll with BB-8. We're going to pop it on Resistance Trooper, pump out some damage here. I forgot what my target damage was, but I think 2% was already posted. It might have been more, but I'm definitely getting into that higher range of 2%, so go me. 3 hits, but luckily it was on one of those where it went on an unbreakable will target. I'm doing math. Technically he could kill R2 very soon, so R2's getting into that low range. And let's also try and prevent some damage on Rey. Scavenger Rey? I don't know what I should be calling her. Oh, okay. There's 3 attacks and it went to R2. So again, a run where, what am I at? 3.93.94, which 4.5 damage was done, I think, with 4 in Fury. That, yeah, it's about 4.5 damage. So 93, so I did about 3.5 damage. Okay, so I think you get the gist of the attack. The late phase is really about playing it smart, using your Unbreakable Will smart, spreading your foresight around, and having the gear to survive, and having the mods to survive. I think one of the things I have set up on this team really well is my mods. I think one of the things I have set up really poorly on this team is my gear, which as I gear these 2 characters, those mods will just carry me that much further. So I hope this helps. I hope the pointing out the specifics of the fight also helped, and have a good night.